Yo, what's up, guys? EvanX Gaming here, and first tier list I'm doing of the year. I'm ranking the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate characters based on the frequency I use them. So, like main, basically my main, like who I use most, and then characters I try to avoid using when I can. So, pretty self-explanatory. Let's get right into it. Uh, Bayonetta. I don't mind Bayonetta. I don't really use it though. Uh, Bowser Jr. Bowser Jr. I use sometimes for fun. I like Bowser Jr. He's a fun character. Bowser, hopefully, not many people I play Smash Bros. With see this, but he's my main. Captain Falcon, he is very similar to Gandorf, but Gandorf is heavier and has better attacks, in my opinion. So I don't really use Captain Falcon. But he has cool alternate costumes. Chrom, I try to avoid. Cloud, he can really get edge guarded, and that'll screw him over greatly. So I don't really use him, but he's not bad. Corrin, I enjoy using. I used to use frequently, but then time happened, and yeah. Daisy, I don't really use. Uh, I just don't find myself using Daisy a whole lot when you got like Bowser and more characters we'll talk about. Dark Pit, I sometimes use for fun. I like Pit and Dark Pit's moveset. I think it's pretty consistent, pretty solid. Dark Samus, I've been using Dark Samus a lot recently, and I enjoy using it. You know, I like Samus already, so Dark Samus is also a win in my books. Diddy Kong, I use for fun. Diddy Kong isn't particularly the best character to use, but is so much fun. Diddy Kong moves really fast and has very unique skill set, which I enjoy use. Donkey Kong, I enjoy using. He's fun. I like how you can spike like five different ways with him. Um, Mii Fighters, I like using the actual Nintendo characters more, so I avoid all of them. Dr. Mario, I see him as a less better Mario. I don't really use Dr. Mario. Duck Hunt, I don't really use Duck Hunt, but when I do, I enjoy using Duck Hunt. Falco, same boat. I don't really use Falco, but when I do, I enjoy him. Um, Fox, I use frequently. I use him a lot. Um, he's really fun to use, and he has a fun skill set. I use his Reflect a lot, and that's one of my favorite parts about him. And he has a great recovery skill or up B. Ganondorf, I use I don't use frequently, but I enjoy using him. I don't think I've ever had a single time in Smash Bros. Ultimate I've used him and was like, not a fan. I've liked every time. And please mind my voice. I have a little bit of a cold right now, so my voice is a bit nasally. Greninja, I don't really use. Um, I don't really get the hype behind Greninja. I mean, it's a decent character, but everyone since it came out has been overhyping it. It's not as cool as you think it is. Ice climbers, I try to avoid. I think everyone tries to avoid ice climbers. Of all things, ice climbers just isn't good. Like you have to rely on both of them being on the stage still for it to work. Ike, oh, I love using Ike. He's heavy, so he can't be easily eliminated by attacks. Um, and he just hits hard. Like with Bowser and Ike, I find myself always eliminating people when they're at like 53, 57 percent because they just have very strong attacks. Incineroar, I try to avoid. Incineroar, is a bit too tactical for my taste. I just don't. I'm just not good with him really. Um, Not only that, but he has terrible recovery. Inkling, I sometimes use for fun. I used to use it frequently, but now my enjoyment for it died down a little bit. Um, Isabel, I don't find Isabel fun to use. Not at all. Um, I just don't like the skill set of Villager and Isabel. Uh, Probably because PTSD, because they always like bait me. It's just really annoying, but I don't like Isabel and Villager's um, skill set. Jigglypuff, I don't really use Jigglypuff. I mean, if I have to, I will, or if I get the urge to, I will. But of all things I could pick, not Jigglypuff. No, Joker, I don't really use. So I don't have all DLC. My brother bought it, so I couldn't get on my Nintendo Switch the first DLC pack because he already bought it and put it on his account. Since we shared the same Switch at the time, it registered on our Switch, but his account only, so that kind of screwed me over. Um, but a few times I do use Joker when playing with my brother. I enjoy it. He's very fun to use. And he has a great skill set. Ken, I don't know. It's just like Ryu, which I'll talk about later. But I don't really use Ken ever. Same with Deity. And please keep in mind, when I don't really use these characters, it doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. It's just I don't personally use them. For example, Joker's pretty high tier, but I don't use him, so, well, I don't think he's low tier. I just don't use him. King K. Rool, I use for fun. Like, if I'm in a fun mood, I'll use K. Rool, but other than that, not really. His cannon moves way too slow. Kirby's fun to use. Um, Not my favorite to use, but I use sometimes, and when I do, I usually enjoy playing. Link, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Link. I like the other Links, like Toon Link and uh Young Link, but just not this Link. Maybe it's because of the remote but I don't even know. Then Little Mac, no, I don't like using Little Mac. I don't think Little Mac's fun to use, but he's so terrible. He's awful. Literally, like 3 hits from like Lucina or somebody could send Little Mac far off the stage. Like he's so bad. Lucario, I, I use for fun sometimes. He's got kind of a fun moveset. Lucas, Ness but worse, don't really use. Lucina, I main basically. When I'm not using Bowser, it's usually Lucina. Luigi, I don't really use. Or I don't try to avoid it. I don't really use it. Mario, sometimes. Because Mario has that smash down, or spike to his fist. I like that. I use that. Marth, I use frequently. I use Lucina more, but they're still both really good, in my opinion. Mega Man. Mega Man I use for fun. I've always liked Mega Man. I don't know why, but Mega Man's just always been one of my favorites to use. Not so much anymore, but still holds a special place in my heart. Meta Knight. Not a big Meta Knight guy. I don't really use him, but he's pretty decent. I like some of his moves. Mewtwo, I don't really use. Game & Watch, he used to be my Smash 4 main. The very first things I mained. I enjoy using Game and Watch. Ness. The very few times I use Ness, I do like using Ness. I like using his PK moves. The PK Blast, the B special. It's just so overwhelming at times. I love it. Olimar, I don't like Olimar. I think he's way too reliant on his Pikmin, and when he does have his Pikmin, he's basically dog shit. Or he is dog shit, if not worse. Pac-Man, or I enjoy using Pac-Man. Man, Pac-Man is so fun to use. You can eat pellets and attack people that way. Just throw down a freaking fire hydrant. You have an amazing up B. You can throw fruit. It's awesome. Who wouldn't want to use freaking Pac-Man? And now, as of late, I've been using Palutena. Palutena, for some reason, she is really heavy. And I like her. She has good attacks. Good up B. Is overall very good. Peach, kind of like Daisy, but I like Peach more than Daisy, so I use Peach more. Pichu, I try to avoid. You literally damage yourself. Like, what's the freaking point? Pichu is literally Pichu, but better in every single aspect. Used frequently. Promplant, I got that too. Sometimes used for fun. I like its upbeat, and it's Promplant. Who would have thought Promplant would have been in Smash Bros? Let's be real. Pit, I enjoy using. Every time I use Pit, I'm happy. Freaking like 5 flaps your wings, then freaking soar through the sky. How do you name me a better recovery than that? Please. Pokemon Trainer, I try to avoid it. I mean, it's not really my playstyle. I like one complete, fleshed out character. I don't know. It's really creative. It's a very creative idea, but it's just not for me. Then Richter, basically a worse Simon or copy of Simon. Don't really use. Ridley, don't really use. Robin, don't really use. Not my playstyle. Rob, I really enjoy using Rob. It can jump for like infinity and just fly around. I like its laser. I like its spinning attack. I really like it. But yeah, Rob's also heavy, so what's there not to like about Rob? Rosie and Luma, I don't really use. Roy, I don't really use, but he is good. I'll use him every once in a while. I enjoy using him. Ryu, I don't really use either. Or I use him sometimes because Street Fighter nostalgia. Samus, ooh, just right next to Dark Samus, honestly, because they're interchangeable. And if I really like Dark Samus, I'm gonna like Samus. Sheik, I don't really use. Not bad though. Shulk, I don't use. I just find it tedious to always have to switch between high jump, high attack, whatever. It's just unnecessary. But cool character design, specialty. Simon, same boat as Richter. I don't use it a lot. I use it every now and then though. I like it. It's got a good moveset. Same thing with Snake. I only use Snake once in a while, but times I do use Snake, it's a pretty fun time. Sonic, use sometimes for fun. I grew up on Sonic. I like Sonic, and it's got a pretty decent moveset. Toon Link, I enjoy using actually. I also grew up on Wind Waker. That was like one of the first Legend of Zelda games I really played, other than like Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. Those are just really good times. Lots of nostalgia. Villager, same thing with Isabelle. Wario, don't really use. I don't know. I just stopped liking Wario's moveset. The farting mechanic doesn't really make too much sense to me. It's not very enjoyable. Um, Weave It Trainer don't really use Wolf. I'm just not good with him. I don't ever use him. Yoshi I used to use and used to really like, but I'm not a big Yoshi guy anymore. Just doesn't resonate as good as it did years ago. Young Link also goes to Toon Link. Zelda, I don't really use, but has a very good moveset. I'll give him that, or I'll give them that. Zero Suit Samus, also don't really use. Hero, I try to avoid. Hero's cool in theory, but the fact you gotta rely on the points is just tedious. Banjo and Kazooie, I try to avoid. I just don't. I'm just not big on Banjo and Kazooie. Like their moveset isn't very special. It's pretty average. Cherry Bogard never really used. Min Min or Ming Ming, whatever her name is, never really used. Never used. Kazuya never used. Sora never used. Steve, I use sometimes for fun. I mean, it's Steve. Who would have thought Steve would have been in Smash Bros. 2? Like, Prom Plant, Steve, um, freaking Sora. Who would have thought? And Steve's very fun to use. Byleth, the very few times I get to use Byleth when playing with somebody else, I love it. I love every second of it. Even if I got last completely, I love it. It's going at the very top, or right behind the Samuses. Oh, I love it. And then last but not least, you've all been seeing it. I swear they have jiggle mechanics. Like I've heard that they have jiggle mechanics, and it's like, oh shit, Mithril Power jiggle mechanics. So that is basically our list. Tell me what you think. Comment down below. Thanks for watching.